Welcome to the Regal Eagle Report. I'm Lasya.
I'm Madhav.
And I'm Anjali. We're your co-hosts.
We're Team 2869, a diverse and inclusive team located at Bethpage High School.
We are aiming for our podcast to be an outlet to interact with other teams and collaborate on varied thoughts and ideas.
We're so excited to introduce our brand new series, where we will be introducing a new team from each state. Embark on our journey as we will be aiming to hit every state, reaching our goal of 50.
For this week's episode, we will be interviewing the Highlanders from Colorado.
So please introduce yourselves as well as your position on the team. We'll go first. My name's Lasya. I'm the senior, and I'm the fundraising lead for our team.
Hi, my name is Vishnu. I am one of the team captains as well as co-outreach lead and peer mentor for electrical.
Hello, my name is Alex. I am a junior, and I am also the co-outreach lead as well as a peer mentor for mechanical, and we are both co-team captains of our team.
I'm Madhav. I'm a freshman on the 9th grade trainee programming team.
My name is Anjali. I'm the current CNC lead, and I'm part of the electrical team.
Perfect. So let's start with our questions. Our first question is, how was your team founded? What is its origin?
So our team was founded a while ago. So basically, our team mentor and our head coach are actually parents. And their children went through the first program, starting with FLL, moving up through FTC, and then eventually the FRC. And they did this with their friends. So our team founded through this approach where the kids went up through each different grade level and then eventually got to FRC. And then when their kids graduated FRC, they were like, why not continue? So they've continued along with FRC, and this is now their 13th year being FRC team coaches.
Was there a story behind your team's name? If so, what was it?
So our team, we're located in a street called Highland Hills and Highland Meadows. So when they first made the team, they thought it'd be a very funny idea to call us the Highlanders. But we really embraced this theme of Highlanders by wearing kilts to all of our competitions, as well as to impact judging rooms and so forth.
So how many years have you guys been part of FRC?
So us personally, so our team's been around for 13 years. This is my third year and Vishnu's third year on FRC. We both started out when we were freshmen, came into the program over the summer and absolutely loved it and continued along and have been going strong until now.
And even before our FRC, Alex and I, we both have done FLL since 7th grade,
Yeah.
and we did amazing. So First has been with us for a while.
So where's your school located? Big district, small, or is it a community team?
So we're a community-based team. So we don't have a single school that we're associated with. We encompass around 6 schools in our area, reaching, I think, 3 cities, which makes us a kind of a broader team.
What do you think is how far do people travel to come?
So interestingly enough, we have people travel from all over. So one of the towns that this year we have a team member on is 30 minutes away. And even last year, one of our team members lived around an hour to an hour and a half away. So we draw from this really wide range of community, and we attribute that to a lot of the different perspectives that we have on our team.
How has your team helped increase membership from the underclassmen?
Sorry, can you say that question again?
Yeah, of course. How has your team helped increase membership from the underclassmen?
Yeah, so our team works on recruitment through a myriad of ways, but I think our biggest one is through word of mouth recruitment. So one thing that we've really focused on is going through, and maybe you know someone in a different club like band or coding club or something, and you see them, you think that, wow, this person may be interested in robotics. We really like to encourage people to reach out to them and be like, hey, do you want to perhaps tour our shop or learn a little bit more about our program?
Yeah, and adding on to that, our team also draws from our outreach events and demos. For example, we're doing a demo tomorrow at a local elementary school. And in that demo, a lot of kids are able to see our team and the cool things that we do with our robot. So demos are also a great way that we increase recruitment.
Yeah, and focusing more specifically on underclassmen, something that we've worked on is trying to have more involvement in the schools that we do go to. So most of our team members go to one certain school in this area. I'd say around 80% of them. And because of that, we're all able to kind of form these cohorts together and then able to kind of gauge people, and specifically underclassmen in those cohorts. So, for instance, I was recruited because I do band, and I was recruited by one of the seniors 3 years ago in band who was like, hey, I think you really have this interest that I'm seeing in STEM. Do you want to come to our shop? And because of that, we just tried to keep that focus on spreading your interest to underclassmen in the activities you do.
Yeah. What are some ways your team has gathered sponsors?
So our team is in a unique situation because our coaches, they run a company called Naira Consulting. So fortunately for us, we get a lot of support from them, but we try as much as possible to fundraise ourselves. Like we've reached out to Front Range Powder Coating, who gives us free powder coat. And we also fill out grants such as the Water Pick grant, which we won, and Medtronic sponsors us. Gene Haas Foundation has sponsored us. So we try and get it primarily from grants and businesses.
So, what are some fundraising initiatives your team has taken?
So fundraising initiatives wise, we like to look for opportunities locally. So for instance, 2 years ago, there was an event called Energy Day in Colorado, which was sponsored by Chevron, I believe. And the whole point of it was if you went there and you showed off your robot, you gave a presentation, then you could fill out this application for a grant. So we'll do stuff like that where we're trying to focus on how locally we can gain money from sponsors. But also we focus more on bigger picture stuff. So working maybe on grants from Colorado, like sponsored by our town government, or even as far as our state government.
So now coming to the robot, how has your robot evolved over the years?
So we really try to improve on ourselves constantly, especially in the robot game. Obviously, we do that in Impact, but in the robot game, we've seen a huge improvement from our students. And this is primarily due to the fact that we practice a lot during the off season, and we try to involve ourselves in many projects. So in 2022, we learned a lot from the yellow ball game. And in 2023, since we've learned so much, we were able to build a robot that's kind of similar, attributing to the same mechanisms. And we've kind of expanded upon that, making it so much better, where we got multiple finalist roles. And then we passed that knowledge on to the next year in 2023, where we were able to place really high in multiple competitions, and we did really well in the robot game. And again, this year, we learned from our design mistakes from last year, and just pushing that knowledge on from year to year is the best wave that we've seen.
Yeah, and we have this motto on our team that if you're a leaving senior, you should always impart all the knowledge that you have onto someone else so that they're doing it better than you. So there's this philosophy of you need to teach and train other people to take your place and do better at your place than you did. So this has started all the way since back 13 years ago when we started with our robots. And then we kind of continually progressed and learned each time. Maybe there's something that we want to emulate about our season this year. Like, we really loved the pacing of the season. So next year we're going to do that pacing and then maybe fix, we had CAD issues or something. And we really work, and then in the off season especially, to build those points in and just work on continually improving to the point where we can always take what we learned from last year and then add that to what we already knew was good last year to build a better robot this year.
So what new or different parts has your team added or bought for your robot, like a swerve module or something else?
So the way that I interpreted this question, and tell me if I'm wrong if you want to go in a different way, but focusing specifically on this off season, something that we've done is we decided that we wanted to train up our newer students because we had a lot of seniors leaving. So we decided to try and build a whole new bot. So we took inspiration from Team 2056 OP Robotics from Canada and wanted to build a bot that was about as close to that as we could get while learning these CAD skills, CAM skills, machining skills, electrical, wiring diagrams, and programming with localization. So this year, stuff that we've done is really build a whole new bot to help improve that.
We're also, from year to year, we try to build mechanisms to train our new students. This year was kind of unique, and we want to continue what we did this year, like moving forward. But last year, we had our our juniors who are going to be seniors, had up an elevator, which was proven to be very useful this year. But yeah.
Is that what you were going for with that question, or do you want to look overall?
No,
Nope, that was
Perfect.
So now coming back to outreach, is your team affiliated, or do you guys mentor any FLL or FTC teams in your area?
Yeah, so we try as much as possible. Since we do practice a lot during the week and the weekends, it's kind of hard for us to full-time mentor FLL teams. But we try the best we can to go to FLL tournaments. Like, for example, we have the Broomfield qualifier coming up in 2 weeks, where our whole team is going and helping ref, and Alex is the MC for that tournament. But we do fun things like that. We did start an FTC team last year, team 23477, where I was a peer mentor that year. I was a student on the team, but I was really trying to just get a team moving, and we saw that team proved to be very, very successful to the newer students as a feeder team up to FRC. So this year we started another FTC team, which is still great. We have 2 FTC teams right now with 2 very different groups of students who are learning a lot from those 2 FTC teams. But yeah, we started 2 teams, and we like to volunteer at competitions.
Yeah, and as well as that, we really work with the FLL teams or even other Science Olympiad teams in our area. So one initiative that we've started over these past few years is going and helping other FLL teams that we can, or having what we call drop-in shop days, where an FLL team might come in with an issue and say, hey, I need help thinking about this. You might say, oh, here's a solution that you could possibly be guided towards. And this applies even to other events like Science Olympiad, which is, I know, outside of FIRST, but still trying to just impact our community as much as possible. And they asked us, reached out, and we said, hey, we'd love to help guide your students to be on this different path, or maybe they already are on the right path, and we're just thinking of different ways that they could improve their design and possibilities. So we really work to get every single level that we can.
Yeah, I like that. Kind of an off-topic question, but can you guys explain the structure of your team? Like, what are peer mentors and things like that?
Yes. So essentially, this year we have 2 team captains. It's very rare. But this year we have 2 team captains. Under the team captains, we have a strategy lead, safety lead, and then outreach leads, and which Alex and I are also outreach. But outreach, and then strategy mainly attributes to kind of all of robot. So strategy lead looks over mechanical, programming, electrical, app development, design, design, machining, all of those. And how we see peer mentors is a student who is qualified in the area that they're in, and they're able to mentor a student lead. For example, Alex is like peer mentor for the mechanical side, and I'm peer mentor for electrical. And I look over and I work directly with the current electrical leads because I was electrical lead last year. That's kind of how we structure it, and it's worked out for us pretty well. Go ahead.
Yeah. And the whole point of peer mentors is that you're allowing other students to have leadership roles. So normally peer mentors are juniors or seniors who have already held a leadership role in their field. And they've moved on, or say they've progressed to a different leadership role like Vishnu and I have, where now we're in a spot of team captain. So we can't be team captain, outreach lead, and then mechanical lead. That's way too much. And so instead what we say is we're going to let other people have that amazing leadership experience and learn how to be good leaders, because in the end, this program is about preparing people for life so they can learn these leadership skills. And then we're kind of here on the guide, like on the side to like guide them like our mentors do and be like, well, this is how I would advise you make this timeline or something like that. So peer mentors are almost like students, but like Vishnu was saying, qualified students.
And then what I meant by student mentor earlier for FTC was currently, student mentors is kind of like what I do for our FTC team, where I'm there guiding them, managing their Monday.com board, which is like kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a website for organization. So I'm there kind of guiding them through, this week you guys have to be done by prototyping, because I've been through and I've experienced that. But I don't actually do anything on their robot, just like guiding them and giving them information from what I've learned.
Got it. Adding on to that, like how many people are on your team members?
This year, I believe we have in the realm of 28 team members, and more come in or might leave before the actual start of the season. But I believe right now we're at 28, which is a significant increase. In 2022, we had 11 students, and now we're at 28. So we're really looking forward to the increased students on our team.
Yeah. So what are some of your like outreach initiatives, like locally or even internationally?
So I think the best way to tackle this is how we've structured our outreach. So we have our local outreach, our statewide outreach, and then our international outreach. And Vishnu and I both will speak on all of those. So locally, we like to do things that are more seen as like fun. So for instance, I believe, just 7 days ago now, that's crazy, it was already been a week. But since Halloween, something that we do as a fun tradition is we take our robot and we might dress it up. And this year we dressed it up as a dragon and a ghost and a polar bear actually too. And we just went out onto the streets and we have like candy, and we go over and we call it reverse trick-or-treating. And kids will like be like intrigued by our robot and like looking and be like, whoa. And you might be like, oh, reach in the dragon's mouth and grab candy. And they're like, what? And like you'll reach in. It's really just an amazing experience that we do. And then, it's at a local level impacting maybe 50, 100 students. But it's really just about creating like bonds between not only ourselves in the community, but team members too.
Yeah, so adding on to that, like I mentioned before, we volunteer at FLL tournaments, and we do quite a bit of our demos locally. Like for example, we partnered with our local college, not local, but it's like the state college, CSU, Colorado State
CSU.
College or university, and every year we run a camp with them, a workshop where it's like a 3-hour workshop where we have students build like little rover kids. But moving on statewide, we try and impact our state mainly through curriculum. So I'll talk a little bit about our sustainability course, and Alex will talk about our safety curriculum. But we made a sustainability course which consisted of 9 documents and 9 quizzes, and essentially it's how a team can be sustainable, right? So how is our leadership structure? How do we fundraise? How do we find grants? How do we make sure that our team is regulated and all good, right? So it's 9 documents encompassing a lot about how a team can be sustainable. And these documents have been endorsed by Colorado First. So Colorado First uses them as a prerequisite to rookie teams requesting grants. So that's a long sentence. So to break it down, like for example, if there's a rookie team and they're asking Colorado First for a grant for money, then that rookie team would have to take our sustainability course first, because then Colorado First would know that they can be sustainable in the future, which is very awesome in my eyes.
Yeah, it's a really great achievement. And then as well as that, we also do a different course that's our safety curriculum and team management course. And the goal of this is not only to train people to be safe, but to also show kind of how we like manage our team. So we have a section there on like food allergies, so that we know what food allergies you have, and we have like a commitment form, and here's a general list of your email and what we have, like, you know, your first and last name, your parents' email, and stuff like that. And this has also been a competitive course that's been shared by Colorado First and endorsed. And so we kind of, on a statewide effort, look at those. And then we also are part of advocates in our state. So for instance, our state has what CFSA, which is Colorado First Student Advocacy. And this is a group built up of, I believe, 16 students from across the state, where we kind of are like almost advisors to the board, and we might do stuff like host a social, and we're able to advocate for ourselves on that. And we have, I'm on that board, and then Vishnu is joining that board too. And so we really like to, as a team, have influence in our state through kind of both first.
Like that.
And then moving on internationally, our team has done a lot internationally in the past like 5 or 7 years, but like recently, some of we'll talk about 3 like main accomplishments that we've had. The first is one of our seniors who's graduated. She was able to go to Jordan, and she was able to do, I think, 4 camps at 2 refugee camps in Jordan, impacting about 70 students, which was huge because those students have never seen STEM or are like on the brink of like just starting to learn that. So it was cool for her to go there and show like the opportunities that students have as STEM, with STEM.
And also in Jordan, we had a team member last year who actually lived in Jordan. Through some circumstances, he was I'm not going to say forced, but he was moved there. And basically what we did is we took advantage of that role and said, well, if he can't be here on a robot, he can help us with outreach. So he actually then went and did more camps and was also able to get on like local news and such, and be able to speak on behalf of STEM and the brilliance and greatness that STEM can have, all the way in Jordan, which was a really major accomplishment.
Yeah, and so now Alex and I specifically, I'll go first. But a couple months ago, I went to India, and I knew I wanted to do something. So I brought down, I think around 40 kilts kits, which are like little science kits that we made, and uh, 15 little robot kits, like little mini rovers. And I took those to India, and I was able to go to an orphanage, a girls' orphanage, and was able to present there in a rural town in India to 30 students, the kilts kits and the caber camp, as well as, and then after that, a couple weeks later, I went to two schools where I was able to talk in front of 700 people, and I presented mainly upon like STEM, how to CAD, how to code, stuff like that. But then I also brought these camps over there, and it was a really cool experience for me. I was also able to talk with some news reporters about the importance of STEM, and it was just a really cool experience.
Yeah, and building onto that, international outreach has also been a focus for our team in other aspects. So I had connection down in Ecuador, and that our team was able to leverage. And something that we did was that connection happened to be a teacher at a local school in a very impoverished community in Ecuador. And something that's always been one of my dreams is to be able to start an FLL team and impart those values of STEM that I got from FLL onto other students. So we were able as a team to get 4 EV3s, as well as all Lego Technic bricks, motors, sensors, a game board, and then missions, and even a computer. And we were able to get those down to Ecuador. And what's funny about that is that Ecuador doesn't have a mail system. So we had to figure out how to get them down there without having a mail system. And it turned into this whole fiasco of we had to fly out to California to give it to someone who then took it, who then went to Florida, who then gave it to someone else, who then went to Ecuador. And once they got to Ecuador, we were able to hold meetings with them. So holding meetings every single Monday where we were able to kind of coach them through this FLL season. So we ran a full mock FLL season, and unfortunately they couldn't be registered as teams because no mailing address to get the actual game board. But we're working on that this year, and we were able to start 2 FLL teams in Ecuador for 10 students each. And then as well as that, after those 9-week camps, so full 9 weeks of FLL, after that, we moved into doing more summer camps there because that was their summer at that time. And what we were able to do is run camps for not only elementary schoolers where we focus on EV3s, but then also going up to middle schoolers where we were able to teach them how to code and able to teach them how to actually assemble robots to complete the missions. And even though this was unfortunately had to be done over Zoom because of gang violence in Ecuador, which unfortunately is still ongoing, so I wasn't able to go down there. But even over Zoom, you can just see the excitement and light and the light on kids' faces when they press this button on this robot that they built from scratch and it goes and it completes a mission, and you can just see the pure joy and excitement through STEM. And as well as that, one of the other major accomplishments in Ecuador is that we've been able to train teachers. So this year, we took the 2 FLL teams that we had last year, and we started another 2 hosted by teachers. And so we're planning on having all 4 EV3 bots going this next year with 10 students per team. And we've been able to train these teachers how to be coaches and get approval of the principal and such. So that even now that my contact has moved away from Ecuador, we're still able to have those meetings and they're still able to learn the values of FIRST through these FLL teams that we've started and continue to mentor. So I'd say that in Ecuador, that's kind of our major accomplishment there.
And adding on to international curriculums, in India, I got a contact from this guy at a school because he's the principal of his school, and he was there during my presentation So from there, he talked to me after, and he said that he loved. So I was able to talk to the principal, and now I'm working with that school, and working with him to build a whole curriculum, a whole STEM curriculum, which has been a slow process, but it's ongoing, and we're excited to get it rolled out soon.
It's definitely worth it at the end. It's crazy everything you guys do.
Yeah, thank you. It's just a great way that we see where we're trying to just impact as many people as we can, because we both have seen the joys of STEM, and everyone on our team has. And it's why outreach on our team is such a major focus. So we require everyone on our team to do at least some outreach. And normally that comes in the form of either like a project that they suggest, or like we were saying, some local events, volunteering. And we would just really try and push the values of STEM and core values of FIRST and spread those throughout the world.
So we heard that you guys received the Chairman's and Impact Award. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We were wondering, what year did you win the Chairman's and Impact Award, and what initiatives do you guys think that really led you guys to win these awards?
So we won, actually, the most recent year was this year. And I don't think there's one specific thing that leads any team to winning the Impact Award. It's encompassing everything. You have to be well-rounded about everything that you do and well-versed about how you want to do it, because you can do a camp with a bunch of students, but is it going to be impactful to the students in the long run? Is it going to change their beliefs on like whether they want to do coding or mechanical? Just like even the little things matter, and we find that anything is useful for like the award. And our team really doesn't like to award chase. We just have our students brainstorm ideas that they want to do within the community, and we try to accomplish that as best as we can.
Yeah, I'd add on to that by saying that there's no formula for winning the Impact Award, and there's no specific event that you say, if you do this, you'll win the Impact Award, because that's not what the award is about. So overall, looking at it, I don't think there's any specific thing that triggered that award to be won. I really do think that it's, as a team, being just well-versed, well-rounded, and able to especially just speak upon the experiences that we've had as students teaching this, and this experiences that have been imparted onto us from it.
Yeah, I like that. So you guys, of course, went to World Championships. Do you guys want to talk about your experience, your favorite part, anything?
It was a great experience, I must say. I enjoyed it so much because there are so many cool things ranging from, even just if you're in the stands. Like, I remember this one time that Vishen and I were in the stands and we're looking at it, and we had just finished judging, so we're really excited, and we're like, we need to take a break. So we looked and pull up Blue Alliance on our phone, and it's like, whoa, wait, look, 254 and Jack in the Bar are playing against each other on Hopper. And we start running to Hopper. Like, not running, obviously not running, speed walking to Hopper to go catch this match. So there are all these little things like going and seeing other robots at top levels, or even just being able to talk with all these other teams from all these different places and diversity, and have this completely different ideology than maybe you do, in like how they design their robot, but they're still super fun to talk to, and you can learn so much from them.
For me, it's very similar to Alex, but I really liked the impact side of it, because Alex, we had 3 students this year, and the 3 of us, it was a lot of fun rehearsing our impact presentation, because we obviously practiced before we left, so we were practicing while we were at the competition in our hotels, staying up late, and then right after that presentation was over, it was a huge relief for us, and it's just a great experience, and talking to all the teams from different like continents and states was
Yeah.
also a great experience. So
Uh-huh. And I think building onto that, both of us agree that team-wise, so inter-team relationships as well, is awesome because they expand so much for the year at championships and even during the season, but especially at events. So I'd encourage, so something that we like to do is we like to eat meals together as a team. And what we do is we eat together, and then especially at a place like Champs, there was like an ultimate frisbee game going on one night that all of us just joined in, and stuff like that, where you're able to build bonds with other people, you're able to build bonds within your team, and then everything kind of accumulates in this really fun experience.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with all of that, especially when I presented for Impact. It was nerve-wracking, but then like right after, it was much better. Yeah.
So what sparked interest in robotics for you guys personally?
So to start, for me, I always liked doing experiments in like science and math side. I never really liked the literature and English side, and this, obviously during the COVID times, it was like a lot harder to be at school, but you can always do like fun experiments at home. And during COVID, Alex and I, we started a FLL team at one of our friends' houses where we had to wear masks. We had to be like 6 feet apart, but we were still like building with Legos and doing core values it was like core values
core
games.
values, projects,
Yeah,
games.
innovation project. It was a great experience, and especially during COVID, where everything was like boring, especially in our state, because it's always cold, and it just wasn't a good experience, except for working on the FLL team with all of my friends. And this just kept growing upon itself, because in 8th grade I started Science Olympiad, and then in 9th grade I joined this team along with Alex, and I don't know, I've loved STEM for almost my whole life.
Yeah, and similarly, I also started out, I wanted to be a pilot originally. I had my whole plan set. I was going to go to the Air Force Academy. It was going to be great. And then I realized pretty quickly that that's really difficult, and it's really hard to do that. And maybe that's not exactly what I wanted to do. And I experimented a little bit with like maybe going into like music field, and music is great. It's fun. I played clarinet. I love playing the clarinet. Great instrument, but it's not exactly, the most intriguing for at least me. And then I joined this team, and I've absolutely loved STEM and everything that goes along with it. So mechanical engineering has become a major focus that I love, being on the mechanical team, but has also triggered me to look into other fields. So right now what's really been interesting is like immunology and biotech. So really just my experience, and I think Vishnu would agree with this, is our experience on this team and in First has led us to just love STEM even more.
Have any alumni within your team pursued higher education STEM-related like majors or jobs?
Yeah, so I believe 95% of our alumni have pursued higher education with STEM-related. Actually, wait, 95% have went like to higher education, but I'm not exactly sure the statistic, but most of them are in the STEM field currently.
Yeah. Wait, do you have more to say?
No.
Sure. Okay. That concludes our questions. Now it's more open floor. You guys can ask us anything you want to know.
Okay, so to begin, what initiatives do you guys do for outreach that you guys are proud of?
Yeah. Okay. So we do like the same thing you guys do. Demos at school. We have STEM nights. At 3F we're a school-based team. So we have like STEM nights at 3F elementary schools. We like do robot demos at locally. We also have an initiative called Engineers Helping Engineers, where we host a class at our at the 5th grade classes at each of our elementary schools and teach them like how to be an engineer. So we do like workshops. Like one of them was like build a robot together. We coded it for them, but it was more of like the mechanical aspect of building it. We did snap circuit kits with them 2 years ago. Something else we do locally, we have an initiative called First Together, where our whole mission statement for that is to spread STEM within our community and have local first teams work together to spread like community service, things like that. So we do car washes. We have a lot of beaches nearby, so we do beach cleanups. And through our car washes, we also do mini grants. So last year we got like 70 applications for mini grants, and we gave out like 5
Wow.
mini grants of like $200 to like teams across the nation
Yeah.
and also internationally.
Mhm.
International outreach. Last year we started a STEM Kits initiative. So we donated, similarly to you guys, we donated STEM Kits to Sri Lanka. So one of our team members went down and taught like a week-long STEM lesson to an all-girls school and one co-ed school, I'm pretty sure. And then like we started it during the summer last year, so members who would go like vacation, like, oh, I'm going to India or I'm going to China or things like that, they would take a STEM kit with them and distribute it within their community and things like that. So throughout that, we reached like 8 countries, I'm pretty sure, around that. And then this podcast is another big thing we do. So this series is like interviewing and getting to know teams around the world because we're from New York, so we want to know how like teams from the West are or teams from the South, how they function and things like that. And we also interview international teams and we help them like when they come to regionals near us or things like that. Yeah, basic overview.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So, focusing, I guess now we have a few questions more on like some team stuff. So, I have at least a few questions, but my first question is, how big is your team?
I would say we have like a good 35 active members, like 35 to 40. There's like people that come in and out, but like 35 like core, they work every single time they come.
Dang. Wow,
Wow.
that's actually impressive.
35. Okay, yeah.
That's a lot of active members.
Because our active members. Okay, so with the follow-up question, how do you guys engage your team members as much? Because
Yeah.
obviously students with not that much of a knowledge base, they can't do that much, and you have to train them up. But how do you guys manage that aspect of it?
So the past few years we've been doing this thing called training groups where we train them on specific like things. So like during off season we have training groups like electrical training groups, CAD, mechanical, and outreach. In previous years we kind of took it lightly and didn't really like mentor them correctly and really teach them what mechanical is all about or what electrical is all about and really get them engaged. So we lost a lot of members throughout the year, especially when build season started. But this year we kind of took a different approach and made like a schedule to it and really tried to come up with different activities that really entice the underclassmen to join. So for outreach specifically, because I look over that, we are doing like this fake like make an event type of thing where they're like first to come up with an idea and they come up with a flyer, find sponsors, cold call them, and just gain experience, but not with like pressure on them. Because eventually, like when we graduate, they need to know how to do cold calls or they need to know how to make a flyer. We're not going to be there next to them helping them. So that's one. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's really good. That's good. And along with that, I guess more on the team side, this is a major thing that our team is working on is how to recruit, especially more women for women in STEM. So how do you guys find that the best way to recruit women is?
How to answer that question? We've done okay, so to give like background, we hold this like not technically a week zero event, but it's during that time. It's called Regal Eagle Rampage. So during this time, what we do is it's like we make the wooden field of that year's game, and we invite teams all across the tri-state area to come and like troubleshoot their robots on it, and we live stream it. It's like a huge event. So during that time, we hold like seminars, and members from our team talk about their experience in doing different aspects. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like they talk about like, oh, like our last year electrical leads were women, so they talked about their experience in getting into electrical, what inspired them, things like that. And I think also volunteering at our elementary schools and STEM nights and really talking about it really entices young kids to join. And also we volunteer at the library and do like STEM kit workshops. So
Yeah.
like entices young children, especially kids, and wanting to join. I don't think we have like one specific thing to entice women, but I get what you're saying. But I don't know
Yeah.
if you have one.
Yeah.
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 All right.
It's just been really hard for us because we're a team with a majority of guys on our team, and we've really struggled with find like women who want to join our team and retaining them, especially in a male dominated sport like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I think another thing we did, like for me specifically, I got a lot of my friends to join through like word of mouth or like saying like, oh my God, I'm having so much fun in this club, you should join. And then they would like join, like things like that.
Okay.
But yeah. Yeah. I get it though. I get what you guys are saying, but I don't think one thing be like, come join.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then last question for me is, how do you guys involve all of your students on your team to do outreach? Because for us, we have 28 students on the roster, and we like have maybe 8 who do consistent outreach. And unlike other teams, we want all of our students to do outreach, and all of our students specialize in some type of robot thing. Like Alex and I, he does mechanical, I do electrical. But then both of us are also in outreach, and we kind of want our whole team to do that, where they do robot, but we also want them to do outreach. And it's been very hard for us to like have that excitement about outreach.
Yeah.
I think because our team has more members, but as freshmen, what we do is we really make them cold call and make them really know more about outreach, because all the freshmen come in knowing that, oh, robotics is all about robots and there's nothing else to it. But then we try to make them understand that there's so much more, because the last few years we qualified because of EI or because of Impact. So we want them to know that this has just as big of a like reputation on winning or going to worlds or to robotics than just building a robot and doing all that stuff. So we really emphasize like cold calling off season, really emphasize getting to call sponsors, and it also helps them build their confidence as well. So we emphasize that as well. And then later on, like sophomore year, they can start thinking about like, oh, I want to focus more on electrical and things like that. Like I personally, I don't really have a lot of robot knowledge, but I'm really involved in outreach. So I think because of the number of people in our team, it's different. But I would say, like finding something interesting for them to do, like for our outreach training group, we say like make a fake event and then we help them with it. And then it makes people stay for outreach. But then if they want to try something out in the lab, they definitely can go and try it out. And see.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. I think we'll keep that in mind, because that's a very good method of encouraging outreach.
Yeah. Any questions?
I believe I have all of mine answered. You guys are a really awesome team.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Okay, so thank you guys so much for coming on, and we'll definitely let you know when it posts, when it's out.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.